Hello, Pittsburgh. Are you there?
Hello, yes, I am. How are you?
Good. It's great to catch up with you again and see if we can, inspire people and look for the helpers amidst this crisis that's, ruining the world.
Yeah.
And I heard your home country of England has a major who is doing something awesome. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, Major Tom. Major Tom Moore. He's 90. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? He's 99 years old and he was determined to walk 100 lengths of his garden, which is 25 meters, before his 100th birthday. And his target was to raise £1,000 for the National Health Service in the UK. And I just checked before we, yeah.
Okay.
I know. How cool, right? Like just totally selfless and here's what I can do, here's what I can control. I'm going to walk before my birthday. And so I just checked before I had a call with you, and right now the total's almost at £14 million. It's £13.9 million that people have raised to support him and the NHS. So it's just so heartwarming that people,
A 99-year-old mister is walking in his garden with the thing and people are sponsoring. I love that.
I know, me too.
Helpers are there. Oh, that's
They
awesome.
are. They are.
That's awesome. That's great. Oh,
what are you seeing? What are you seeing where you are?
So there's a lot happening. There's TV programs that have gone for years. They've come back and they're all about helping, showing Holland in action. They're doing that. We've got so many cars that we are putting available because our healthcare workers cannot use public transport because of maybe getting infected. So they're all cycling in Holland, but they cycle for like 45 minutes, also after a night shift. So lots of car companies are sponsoring cars for them to be safe and to just get in the car and go to work and without them cycle for hours. So that's happening a lot. That's super inspirational.
That's amazing. And how are you seeing, how are people feeling where you are?
People, it's going super up and down. I think the thing I'm hearing the most is that there's two things that's hurting people if we try and distinguish them. There's the one thing where I'm not going out of my house. These are the walls that I see. These are the people that I see. I can't see people that I love, but also I can't, just go grab a coffee and say, hey, Rachel, how are you? And just have a small, tiny conversation that isn't formally planned with a video call. So people are missing that. So that's one of the things that's really hurting. For me also, I love traveling. I love being on a plane, emptying my brain, not being able to be disturbed, not being able to go onto the internet and just clear my mind. And I can't do that now. So the disturbance of the pattern, that's really hurting people. And the second thing I'm hearing is the not knowing when will things be normal again. How long will it take? That's really crippling many, many people. How do you see that?
Yeah, the same. I mean, it's so funny. Oh, you have a cat in the background. It's so funny that, I mean, we're all suffering. It's a collective suffering, isn't it? And whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, it's affecting us in both, both types of people. And also, I had a conversation with one of my teammates. I mean, she was asking how I'm coping with, having 2 full-time working parents, plus 2 kids in the house that were homeschooling. But she is alone. She lives alone, and she's feeling incredibly isolated. And it's the opposite scenario, but it's just as bad, right? So it's tough for people.
Yeah, and just when you think, okay, I've got a pattern now, I've started to undress in the evening and go for home clothes, and in the morning make sure that I take the shower at the same time, so I'm in my routine. But just when you've done that, you suddenly hear Harvard has a new studies out that we might go for 7 more lockdowns in the coming 4 years, and you go, ugh, and you're crippled again, right?
Yeah.
So what I've done with a couple of entrepreneurs in my surroundings, we've created something where we create 3 strategies or 3 scenarios actually. And what we've done is, what if this scenario becomes true? What would I do now? What if this one comes true? What would I do? And what if the worst case scenario comes true? So for myself, I've done what if we can train again as of, because I'm a trainer, what if we can do group sessions again, maybe with 1.5 meter distance or 6 feet distance from September onwards? What would I do now if that were going to be the case? Second scenario for me is, what if we could do that from the 1st of January onwards, which would be worst case scenario for me almost, because it's a long time. What would my actions be right now? What would be my next right thing to do? And then I've also created, like, for me, a horror scenario. What if we could only do that from September 2021 onwards? And I've made a list that if this was really true, was really happening, what would I do? So instead of me waiting for somebody to announce this is how it's going to go, creating certainty and just assuming that certainty for a moment, and then making a list. How would I cope? What would I do? What would I spend my time on? And then I've looked at the 3 lists with the people, and also for myself, and seen some things that are the same and taken those out and start working on those right now.
That's great. Kind of reframing, isn't it? And going, okay, because we don't have any certainty. So
just pretending, what if this were certain now? What would my actions be? Because I heard myself actually say, if we would only know that it would be okay per that date, I could plan for it. And then I thought, we could create a game in our mind that we can create that certainty and then act on that.
Yeah, I love that. That's so helpful. I'm going to go do it.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Thank you for the tip.
Super. Yeah. And then we are working on creating a video to put online on Monday, or maybe some pages, that if we were to train again, which measures have we taken already? So the hand sanitation, in Holland, everybody loves licorice. I know the rest of the world thinks we're crazy, but we love it. So in our training room, we have this big pot of licorice, and everybody goes in with their hand and takes out the licorice. Obviously, in times of Corona, is not a fancy, wise thing to do. So we've created something different where the licorice is wrapped and everybody gets their own stash. So little examples like that to have people start preparing for that 6 feet community or 6 feet society or 1.5 meter society that we're obviously going to move towards right now.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of reassurance needed for people as well, isn't it? Like, it's safe to come to my training or my workplace, and we understand that it's difficult for people, because I do think there's some apprehension. I mean, look at the key workers who are having to go out now. I mean, it's awful, isn't it, that people have had to go into difficult scenarios. So we're going to have to spend some time thinking about how we can create safety for people, that they feel comfortable coming back.
Absolutely. I remember a story of one of the trainers that I work with. His daughter was stuck in Australia, and obviously she had to come back, and he had to fetch her from Schiphol, our biggest airport. And there was nobody there, or hardly. It was like a ghost city. And he was eating a sandwich, and a little piece of the sandwich got stuck in his airway. So he coughed, but there were some people around, and everybody went, somebody's coughing. So there's like this new reality around coughing and sneezing that we need to start take care of and speak about and be open about, and also have trust that if people are feeling ill, they're not going to show up for group meetings. Yeah,
exactly. Good. I'm glad that you're able to frame a new reality so that you can move forward. Because how do you find that motivation? It's incredibly paralyzing, isn't it? There's so much we want to do, so much we want to achieve, but where do you even start? I mean, it's almost overwhelming.
Absolutely. I speak to so many people about motivation because there's this thought in all of our brains that motivation will come and then we will act. And that is, of course, the wrong way around, because that's not how motivation works at all. But still, I hear from so many people sitting at home thinking, I could now do this, I could write my book, I could start my video thing, I could start doing this. I always wanted to reorganize this. And they're going to sit down and go, where's my motivation? And it's not coming, because the reality of motivation is it only starts with action. So you can't wait for motivation. You have to go and act. And then once you're acting, little pieces of motivation will come, and that will keep you going. But never wait for motivation. Start acting. Just, open the closet, start pulling out things, and you'll get creative with how you want to reorganize the cupboard. The same goes for writing.
Yeah. I think that's such good advice, Jeanne, for everything. I felt the other day, you know, really lethargic, like I've been stuck in the house and I didn't want to do anything. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to walk. That's the one thing I can do. I can go outside and have a walk. And so I did it, and I felt a million times better rather than waiting to be motivated to walk.
Yes, just go. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, what re-inspired that for me was the movie Frozen 2, where there's a scene where they have no hope, all hope is lost. And she goes, okay, what's the next thing, the next best thing that I can do? And just put one foot in front of the other and get inspired again. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. What great advice. Thank you, Jeanne.
Yes. And I just want to talk also about the clapping.
Oh, yeah.
So we have in the Holland, we have clapped one night for our healthcare professionals at 8 o'clock, and then sort of thought, well, that was enough clapping, and we've stopped. But apparently in the UK, they go on, right?
Yeah, I think there's a certain sense of community. I don't know whether it's a smaller country and people are closer together, but I mean, it's very emotional. People do it every week. It's wonderful. They're clapping for all the helpers. So we should all be clapping for ourselves, all of us are staying home and being the heroes. You know. Yeah, exactly, that way. So yeah, it's amazing. And in the US, they are, you know, in certain communities, they're doing it. I actually read in California, there's a community that's howling once a week. Like howling at the moon. Yeah. I mean, whatever you need to do to bring your community together, it's amazing. So yeah, it hasn't really taken off where I live, but I don't know whether it's because we're a bit spread out. And
no clapping in Pittsburgh?
There is. I saw something online about it, but I didn't hear anyone doing it. So
yeah.
I think the UK really enjoys it. I think they love doing it, and it's really a thing that we do. So yeah, that's
you feel the connection also with the NHS. That's apparently, you know, a big thing, and it's really, you know, bringing people together. I think we have King's Day coming up, which is the 27th of April in the Netherlands, which usually everybody goes out, gets really drunk, and wears orange. And it's a super celebration. But now they've replaced it. King is actually koning in Dutch, and our houses are called woning. So they've now changed King's Day, Koningsdag, into Woningsdag. So we're all going to be stuck at home. But what I love is that they are creating simultaneous times. So there's going to be, the national toast is going to be at 4 o'clock. Everybody's going to toast together. We're all going to sing the national anthem. You know, they're all going to do these things at the same time to just, you know, give that sense of being together and having a ritual together. I love it. Yeah. I
love it too. I want to attend it virtually.
I should tell you the time if I don't mix up the times again. Yeah.
Send me the time. I'm sure it's going to be online. It's great to see how people are doing that, right? Because we're all in this together. I really feel a sense of humanity.
Yes.
Everywhere's affected. So I love to see what everybody's doing, and knowing that everyone's sending their good thoughts out there into the universe. I think it's going to make a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I want to talk to you again next week.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah.
I love talking to you anytime. Thanks, Jeanne.
Thanks.